Good morning. It's so good to be with you today. We are going to look at Psalm 106 today. And as so often happens when we look at our lectionary verses, this passage connects to yesterday's passage. Yesterday, Pastor Hale talked about the Israelites and this golden calf that they created in a way to kind of make God tangible in some form for them. Well, Psalm 106 today has these verses. It says, "We have sinned even as our ancestors did. We have done wrong and acted wickedly." Well, this psalm is written about 500 years after the events of Moses and the Israelites and the golden calf. Yet we hear a few verses later, the psalmist goes on to say, "At Horeb, they made a calf and worshipped an idol cast from metal. They exchanged their glorious God for an image of a bull." So even though these events happened so many years ago, the psalmist continues to identify with the actions of the Israelites. They messed up. They sinned against God. And now the psalmist here is crying out saying, "I too have sinned." The beauty of this connection isn't about the sin, though. It's about forgiveness. It's about the fact that God is a forgiving God. Our God is a God of forgiveness. And that's the beauty. That's the connection point. God offers forgiveness at every turn. Throughout the Old Testament, when we see the Israelites continuing to mess up, continuing to fall away from God, God continues to forgive them. In the New Testament, when we see Jesus engage with sinners and outcasts, Jesus chooses forgiveness. And when you and I mess up, when we sin against God, God is always there, faithfully ready to forgive. The only prerequisite on our part is to ask. And when we ask for God's forgiveness, it's there. His grace in the form of forgiveness is always available to us. I'll tell you what, that sure is reassuring news for me today, knowing that when I ask for forgiveness, God is there. He shows his grace. He shows his mercy. And just as God forgave the Israelites, just as God forgave the psalmist, just as Jesus forgave those who sinned, I am forgiven too, and you are forgiven as well. That's good news for us for today.